Hi YouTube, welcome to another video from Exit Strategy. Appreciate everyone's support. I want to talk to you guys about the thing called bait and switch as it pertains to narcissists. What does that look like? I want to give you the definition of bait and switch when it regards marketing in our world. Bait and switch refers to a deceptive sales tactic where a seller lures customers in with a seemingly great deal on a product. That's the bait. But then when the customer tries to buy it, they are told it's unavailable and are pressured to purchase a different, usually more expensive product instead. That's the switch. Essentially tricking the customer into buying something they didn't originally intend to buy. This practice is considered fraudulent and illegal in many jurisdictions. Well, then I would stroll down, much like I did in 2020 when I was awakened. Google is a great source, whereas we used to use the old-fashioned dictionary. Thank God for technology. It has its benefits, especially for the awakened empaths and chosen ones. We're able to get this knowledge quick because time is running out, guys. Bait and switch in a relationship is what it ended up strolling down to. Let's give you that. What is bait and switch? What is the bait and switch relationship? Bait and switch in a relationship refers to a situation where one partner presents themselves or the relationship in a certain way initially, the bait in the beginning, but then changes or reveals a different reality, the switch, after the other partner has committed or invested emotionally. That speaks volumes of a narcissist. So if this speaks volumes in the way that a narcissist moves, so let's go back to initially what the definition was in marketing. Essentially, marketing, where bait and switch is a thing, is a narcissist strategy. So in fact, the very people who are doing this are the narcissist. So now this belies the reasons why we have so much deception in the world. So many charities that I used to would give $1, $2 to at the register, I emphatically say no. With no guilt, no remorse, no kind of feelings, ill feelings whatsoever, just neutral. No. I trust me. I'll give my money to someone randomly on the street if they should ask me if he's a vagabond. If my heart feels compelled to give, I do. If I don't, I say no. Let your yes be yes and your no be no. So regarding sales tactics, it's fitting. I got my Milwaukee shirt on. I'm going to give you a situation, whereas the Black Friday sale, they were having Milwaukee batteries, the 6 amp batteries, the 12 M12 for all you tool guys. They were advertising 2 of those for, I think, $100, $99 for 2, which was an unheard of deal for an M12 6 amp battery. Because one 5 amp is going for $99 right now, I think, or is it $79? I think the 2 3 amps are going for $99. Or vice versa. Either way, one 5 amp battery is going for almost $100, and they were giving 2 6 amp batteries for this price. Now, I believe, to this big box store's credit, I believe, I can't really recall, I want to believe I saw the 2-pack once upon a time leading up to Black Friday. But if in fact I saw it, it might have been 2 or 3 sitting there, and I was kind of poised to buy a pair, but I resisted and I bought something that I thought I was much more in need of. I always think I'm in need of a tool, but I resisted. And long story short, I went back during the Black Friday situation and they were nowhere to be found. And I went online, and this is nowhere to be found, not in stock. Basically, it's like it never existed. So this is a typical example of bait and switch, because the thing that they replace it with, or if you stroll down, they'll have something marketed comparable, but it will be a little more expensive. So that's more or less luring you to the page and enticing you for something that's similar, but not of the same type. So that's what you get with a narcissist in a relationship, in a bait and switch. As you just heard me read, they lure you in with one type of persona, but as they get emotionally, or you get emotionally attached and connected, love bombing stage, they woo you. They often, in a few cases with me, this is a post-awakening. I'm typically in the situation where I would have a woman constantly wants to tell me that she can help me straighten the house up, can do this, can do that, cook for me, to which I do all of those things myself. And if my house is not cleaned up or straightened up at some point or another, I can do that. I know how to do that. Not to say that her intentions are not to be respected, or I don't appreciate a person saying that, because in a healthy relationship, if a person feels that they can contribute to a relationship, that is sort of like automatic. They will offer, or they will extend themselves. But there's a difference when a narcissist comes on the scene. It feels rushed. It feels pushy. It feels very pushy when they want to come in. They scan your house, they scan your car, they scan, they're particularly fixated, if I can use that word. They are zoned in on little things that are things that you wouldn't really think a person would be overly concerned about when they initially meet you. They come in right way. Their conversation is changing things. They don't come in with the whole express consideration of, I see this, but I'm going to allow this person to, or allow myself to get to know this person before I offer and extend myself to this person. This is normally what a healthy person would do. But a narcissist, it will feel forced, it will feel pushed, it will feel excessive. And it is. And I'm going to tell you why that is. They have to come in and insulate themselves very quickly. So in how they do that, they come in with this whirlwind of, I can do this, I'll help you do that. Me and you will be a good team. They'll say this a lot. Oh, we'll make a good team. And they're hugging on you, holding your hand, trying to kiss on you, doing all this overt affection. So all of this stuff will feel pushy, pushy, pushy. And the expressions of affection that they give is so mechanical and robotic. It's almost borders on like sexual harassment, if I could use that. I mean, they're pushing themselves on you at a rapid rate to the point where they need you to reciprocate this. And a lot of times in the past we have. And when we reciprocate it, if you're like me, you felt awkward in doing so. Even though you went along with it, the butterflies were in the air. This is new. This is fresh. This is something you don't even know how the hell this happened. You're thinking to yourself, man, this must be God. This must be, man, all I've gone through in relationships. Man, now I finally got a girl, or I finally got a guy that really, really wants to contribute and help me. And this may or may not have been an aftermath of a previous narcissistic personality disorder relationship you were in. This could have very well been after you were post-awakened. I've experienced a lot of these things post-awakened. But the difference is readily, you're able to get your hand back before it gets chewed off. That's the difference, guys. It's trial and error because you're dealing with human to human interaction. You can't see everything all the time. We do our best, we try our best. Just like in biblical lifestyles, being Christians, being believers, we can only walk out and work out in our life so much. There are trials and errors. There are things you will ace. There are things that you will often overlook. There are things that will catch you by surprise, off guard, sideswipe you. But the more astute you become and the more intentional you become in being the best version of yourself you can be, you're already armed with the defense mechanism intact. When that person comes in and tries to swoon their way or woo you with this or that, or try to invade you with all of this extra help and extra let's do this, let's do that, these propositions, they come in and try to oversell the product, which is them. That defense mechanism is there because nothing can pervade that boundary and they can't get in. And what happens is that'll be the first and last date. That'll be the first and last phone conversation. Even on the phone, they'll try to pick you apart over the phone. They'll try to break you down and break through or jailbreak your defense. And you can tell just by the line of questioning, the line of conversation, you know that this conversation is so one-sided. They don't have your best interest at hand like you probably have theirs. They're not thinking of the you and I or the me and you or the us. They're thinking of the me, me, me. And you hear this in their conversation. You just have to pay attention. So the bait and switch is very effective. And that is one of the most diabolical weapons in the narcissist's arsenal, because this is crucial to how they come in and insulate themselves with you. They have to come in giving off this selfless, passive, agreeable personality, modest. And even in their modesty, they're not modest. You'll go out on a date, as in some cases with me in the past, they are dressed seemingly sophisticated, but with an overt tinge of salaciousness. And I'll show you what that looks like. They will have the modesty in every aspect of their dress, but they'll have one or two buttons in their blouse loose. In many cases, they'll have that button unbuttoned on purpose, and you'll say, you got a button that's loose. And they'll be like, oh, okay. And they'll immediately correct it, having you think, oh, they must not have been aware. And you will get into this relationship, and shortly thereafter, you will see these occurrences over and over and over again. And they'll have you thinking that you're insecure, you're you're judging them, you're nitpicking at them. Then when in fact what they're doing, they're dressing salaciously, or they're dressing provocatively, raunchy, on their way out the door to work, because they want you to voice your 2 cents on this. They want you to notice this, because in essence, they are antagonizing you gaslighting you because they want a conversation to ensue that is going to leave you jacked up. And all you're doing is casually speaking on something in support of your mate, or you'll tell that guy, hey, you know, I don't know, from a woman, you would probably speak on something as to how he's dressed. He would probably have a shirt on that is probably same thing with a couple of buttons down with his chest hair or his chest sticking out. And you'll say, babe, button your shirt up. You missed a button. And instead of him saying, oh, thank you, he will say, well, this is the style. What's the problem? You will be met with this, not aggression, but this defiance. And you will be the villain. You will be the one that is vilified because you spoke in concern out of respect for this relationship. And you're thinking they had no idea that this was a situation. So it's not a big deal to begin with, but the narcissist will create a big deal out of it. And in some kind of way, they have you been out of shape. Because what they do, they will do debate and switch in that, because they will have you thinking that you have a deal with them. And shortly thereafter in that relationship, you will have to correct or point out something on a regular basis to them. It's like raising a kid. It is like taking care of a kid, and not just a kid that is, how do they use the word? I say mentally retarded. Nobody uses that word anymore, but mental retardation, that is a thing. In society, it is really interesting how society they want to clean up the phraseology of how we address people who are challenged. The word mentally retardation never had an issue or was a problem, but I get the reason why they are trying to remodel the word in many respects, but it had become a fashion statement now to the point where I'll give you case in point, autistic awareness. There are so many narcissists that ride the wave of autism awareness. How do I know? I've observed. How do I know? I know them as narcissists firsthand. And many of these narcissists, in fact, have autistic kids, which is a phenomenon in and of itself. Because if you get, and the woman I married, who's a covert narcissist, she has a high functioning autistic kid. These people will leverage their child's disadvantage or their mental challenges to the utmost degree. But to the untrained eye, you won't realize that this is what they're doing, extracting all the energy and all the fuel from this situation. From taking that child to where they have to go for treatment, or interactions of sort, or to the functions that autistic kids normally attend to interact with other kids, counselors. They will ride this wave. And not to mention how they capitalize on the benefits monetarily. The covert narcissist I married, she was very reckless with money. She spent money like a little kid. And myself, I'm a tad bit addicted to tools, and I've always justified buying tools as to tools make me money. But I have to admit, I'm obsessed with buying tools to a strong degree. To a very strong degree. I don't think it's healthy, and I don't really think it's unhealthy. It's just something I need to really be conscious of. And this is the difference. In Path Chosen One, we're able to remake our choices in life. We're able to learn from the errors of our ways. So the switch and bait is a very clever tactic in a relationship with a narcissist, and they will use this to the bust out. So it's important that you are very, very keen on how this is, and it'll mostly be seen in the initial stages where, like I said, they come in with this wave, overt pressure imposing type of, I want to do this, let's do that. And they'll often want to change a whole bunch of things in just a short period of time. So these are key things to watch out for. That being said, bless.